Evening YouTube, it's Friday evening. I thought I'd give you a little update and wanted to ask you guys a question too, but first I'll give you the update on the new sawmill. So it is a Sears mill. There is one video on YouTube of a guy running a Sears mill, and it is similar. I mean, I did some research, and Sears did make their own mill at one time. Yes, they sold a lot of other. They sold American, they sold Foley, Lane, and Corley. I thought even I seen one YouTube video that said Sears mill, and then on the knees I thought it said Frick on the knees of that mill. So don't quote me on that. But I plan on setting it up on the ground somewhere around the yard here. Maybe I'll put it up the hill in the woods and run it until I figure out what I'm going to do with it. I'd like to put it on a trailer. I have a 235 I'm going to use to power it. It's a right-handed mill. The blade is a right-handed mill, and it's that little bit thicker blade like my 40-inch. See, my 50-inch, it just seems to be like a little bit thinner gauge steel than the 40 and this 48. Well, it measured 49, but I'm guessing it's a 48 like the guy said in the ad. It has the long teeth on it, so maybe that's what's making it a 49. But so yeah, so I'll set that up, and looks like it'll do a pretty big log. That carriage is long. I really like the 12 wheels on it. Oh. Alright, so now to the question. What, if people would comment and let me know, what do they charge to mill 1,000 board foot for someone? So I just had a logger, I'm thinking he's a logger, called me from Manistee and asked what I would charge to mill his logs. He asked if I did custom cutting. I let him know that, hey, I'm just starting out doing this besides a hobby. And I asked him, I said, well, I don't really know what that would cost. And he said to me he pays the person that's doing it now $200 a $1,000. I don't know, to me that just feels like way too cheap, because there's guys out here charging like $200 an hour. So that being said, I feel like he's trying to get one over on me. I mean, you know, don't quote me on it, I don't know for sure, but that just seems way too cheap, especially with the price of gas. I mean, I told him I was green to this and new, so maybe he just threw an old, I'm gonna make some money off this guy, or you know. But I told him, let me mill up 1,000 board feet and see what it cost me in fuel and time, and I'd get back to him. Yes, they're his logs. He logs out of the forest, buying from federal land, I believe, which I plan on doing that here pretty soon. I have a lot of federal land by me that are full of white pine and red pine, and I think they sell at pretty decent rate. I think it was going around 20 cents a board foot or something like that on the pine. Almost sawmill parts sitting around here. Old tractor one there. This is my Shorty log pile. It's everything that didn't make 8 foot. There is some big beasts down there that are 8 foot, but I just ain't never had the time to dig them out. I put them there beginning of, right in the spring of last year. But I guess those ones there are 8 foot. I think I just tossed them there because I had nowhere to go with them at the time. Yeah, this is my big slab wood pile. My firewood pile. My firewood shed. And then when I got that sawmill, it had a kick-out roof on it over the log table. And that's there. I didn't have nowhere to put it for now, so I just chucked it up on top of the woodshed roof. Here's that carriage for the other American sawmill that I got from the UP. I plan on, this one's going to go on the American here, and it's going to be the new one because that old one is all wood, and I'm starting to get a little bit of wheel movement on the axle, like just on the reverse, so it's not affecting any cut, but it's only a matter of time, and it's going to be making stuff wrong. And now that I'm buying logs, I definitely don't want to be messing up. This was the carriage that came with that American. Kind of cool setup. Huh. Had a table welded right to it. And then back in the day, I did a tree job and got this full bulldozer. I've since scrapped quite a bit off from it. It's got a Hercules motor in it, inline 6, that was totally rebuilt. I've seen pictures of it, mint condition, and then he put it back in this, and the hydraulics didn't work that great. The pump was weak. Big old Michigan pump, I think it said on the front of it. Great big one, runs off from a PTO shaft. This motor had coming out, the bottom of it had a PTO shaft off it. Which made me, not knowing a lot about sawmills, there it is right there. Not knowing a lot about sawmills at the time of what you could run it off from, I had a big idea I was going to use this motor to run a sawmill. But I'm going to get it out and try to save it and scrap the rest. I've scrapped the tracks and the dozer and the dozer arms. Yeah, my plan was to cut the motor right with the frame so I could keep the hood for it. And then the grill, or the radiator, I have on the front of my sawmill motor now. I had sprung a leak back in the beginning of summer, and yep, I just haven't worried about fixing that radiator to put it back on. So this is my scrap pine pile. Like, the beetles have gotten to it, and it makes a pretty board, but I don't really have no use for beetle boards right now. Oh yeah. So I've been working around here, and I kind of needed a spot to put, you know, all my stuff that I don't want to get covered in sawdust and everything. So I had all these deer blinds. Sorry about that. Daughter crawling on the pine logs over there, and I already told her many times, hey, don't climb on those, you're gonna fall. Of course, she already had a little bump on her her knee from the cement the other day, so she's wailing, but Mama's out feeding her chicken, so she's going to Mama. But anyways, so, oh yeah, now she's up to Mama, and the waterworks are just pouring. Huh. It's because she saw Mama's face. But anyways, I needed somewhere to put some of this crap down here. It's all just laying around on the floor. I don't really mind the sawmill parts, and you know, this steel stuff ain't really getting hurt, but I just had a lot of other crap that I didn't like, you know, all my different nail buckets, bolt buckets, little boxes that are open. So I had these deer blinds sitting around all over, and I figured I took one of them, one that never gets used, and it's my little office. I mean, what the heck. So a while back, when I first got the big mill, I didn't know what type of saw bits I needed. Well, I was on Menominee's website, and these were 140 bucks, and I was like, well, God, I'm gonna buy them whether they work or not. I've since got the right ones for my American saw, but so they've been sitting around here, and I thought about listing them, and then, oop, that's always gonna get me. I already know it. Bang my head walking out. I knew, you know, that maybe one day I might get a saw blade that'll work. Well, the new saw blade that I got takes them teeth. So, yeah, kind of a bonus. I mean, these ones are quite good. I'm just going to sharpen these ones. So, yeah, I was just thinking maybe I might get lucky and this blade cuts good, and I'll just throw it on the American for now, because that's a lot of teeth to change on that 50. You know, I mean, just when I did the 24 teeth on the 40, I was kind of like, yeah, God, really wish I'd be done. But, you know, you gotta do what you gotta do. Well, yeah, if anybody happens to know what the general price this saw, let's say 1,000 board feet for somebody with their logs. The guy plans on delivering the logs here, and he'll pick up the wood from here via semi-truck, he said. He wanted to know if there was room to pull in here, and between I think he could in the back here. I've had double dumps down here, tandem dump down here, and he turned around just fine. He whipped in and nosed up the hill at the house, and then backed straight down here, and we dumped the manure. I'd gotten a whole bunch of manure for my garden, my apple trees and everything. So, yeah, this is my little logging road over here, and I was hauling the rest of that big pine that I videoed taking down the other day, the top part of it. And I was bringing it in on the log dog, and had a nice big old knot, or a branch spot right here, and it caught my little water line. We have 2 wells, and one's our sprinkler well, and it runs down to my apple trees. And then the power's just here for the kids' playhouse. They used to have a little TV up there, and they'd play video games, and so they were begging me for a tree house. That's what they got, a deer blind on top of a couple of stalks. Like I said, I ain't no big builder. I mean, I can build stockade fence. You know, those seem to turn out pretty good, and I mean, I guess for 35 bucks, people don't really care what it looks like. Alright, yeah, I know I keep getting sidetracked, but yeah, if anybody knows what that should cost normally to mill somebody's log. He says he needs me to do 12,000 board feet a month. Roughly 3,000 a week. 3,000 a week. God, I don't even know if I'd do 1,000 a week. I work by myself, you know? Like, the mill cuts pretty fast. It's all pine, all 8-foot stuff, so, you know, it might be doable. That's why I guess I'm just going to do a little test this weekend. All those big beautiful pines that I took you around on the video and showed, well, I told the neighbor I was about ready to leave his property because I was tired of the junk pines, and I was going to go start cutting down mine and the other ones I got on the other neighbor's property. Well, he goes, let's go for a ride. So we jumped in his gator and we went and rode the property, and I got 3 of the monster pines marked, be able to cut right now, and then a whole bunch of 10 to 25 inches, you know, which some of them are, you know, quite tall. So yeah, so he didn't want to lose out on that money, so he changed his mind real quick on how soon I could cut those. This is a bunch of oak I had milled up a while back. I was gonna go get a planer Sunday, but it's 3 hours one way. Good deal on the planer. They only wanted $300 for it. It's a fully bell saw, 9103 with some molding heads, but I just didn't want to waste my whole Sunday driving almost all the way to Detroit. But yeah, I've had these sitting in here. I kind of wanted to plane them, and I'm gonna get ready and build a big deck off those 3 big bay windows there. I'm gonna take the first one out closest to us. I guess it's the one in between that one right there. I'm going to take that one out because there's a wall right there, and put a door in there, and there's going to be a deck right there to walk out. Because the only way to get into our backyard is either through the family room in the basement, that door down there, or else through the house, through the breezeway, into the garage, and out onto that back porch. I am going to connect the 2 porches though. So yeah, so I'm trying to build up a lot of white oak. There is some red oak mixed in here. I think most of it's right on top. But yeah, this used to be my old firewood sheds, and then I built that one down there that I just showed a minute ago, and all I had in here was a whole bunch of scrap steel. Old antique steel though. Like stuff like this. This old car bumper type shit. Oh, excuse my language. This is some of the kids' bike stuff, but all that stuff. Just, you know, I like to fabricate. I tried to cover a lot of it, but I like to fabricate with steel, and there's a lot of just good little trinkets in here. And so when I first got it all, like all these leaf springs, I mean, I always need to beef up a trailer. There's tons of axles and shafts. I liked all the solid steel shafts. Over there on that pallet there's a bunch of long, thick ones. Some are 2-inch. See, the old man I got that Sawmill from, the American, he was an old train man, head train master guy. Helped build, I guess, all the train tracks around Michigan. He's 94 this year. Just turned 94. And he did a lot of building his own parts and everything on a sawmill. I'll walk over and give you guys what my fence looks like. Now these were just practice, but they turned out pretty good. They turned out good enough. People have seen them and want them, and these ones here I just kind of made for myself. Practice run. Well, I guess I babbled long enough. Like I said, anybody knows what you know, the normal cost to mill somebody's logs, it'd be really nice for them to chime in and just kind of let me know, because I just feel like this guy is trying to pull one over on me. I mean, maybe that's the case. Maybe I'm just wrong. You know, I know the new high production mills probably can do that no problem, but I'm not trying to beat my mill to death for, you know, $200, and then probably there's going to be a good at least $100 in gas, you would think. Well, I don't know. I milled up that big order. Well, yeah, it's not worth it. But anyways, if you think you might know a little something about that subject, please chime in. I'd love to hear what you're paying or what you charge. Well, it's Friday evening. I've been making 2x4s all day. Kind of sick of it. I'd no sooner get caught up. Like, I had 50 made, just sold them all. This is what I got done today. I had some 2x6s down there that I ended up cutting into just 2x4 one side and just wasted the other side. They had been sitting around, they were dry, and so, but alright guys, thanks. Please like and subscribe. Have a good weekend. I'll be milling the rest of these junk logs, and then I'm gonna start cutting all those premium ones, I guess. Really need to fix my log table. Looks like crap. Well, like I said, have a good weekend. Thanks for watching. Like and subscribe.